Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Florida. We are at Daytona, but we are not doing high speeds on high banks tonight. No, the Cup Series rolls into Daytona for a road course, the first of two this season. Tonight's road course is brought to you by David Garman and NSM Wraps. Definitely check them out if you need a paint job on your car. I do believe they're the ones that do David's, and we'll be talking to David here in just a couple of minutes as well. As we roll into Daytona, a couple of interesting notes. This is only a 35 lap race here tonight. However, the fuel mileage is only about 15 to 20 laps. They're going to have to do at least one, and most guys said two stops, and mainly the two stops is because of the tires. Tires are 8 to 10 laps, and then they feel really, really bad. A lot of guys saying that the back end is trying to spin out when they get on the gas. They're having to pretend like they got an egg under the gas pedal getting back on, and a lot more slidey under braking as well. As you see, this is the version of Daytona with the NASCAR chicane in it, so they do have that added little bit of fun. Tonight will be a single file restart to try and avoid some carnage, and hopefully we'll get a lot of great racing. Got Aaron Mason in the chat. Good evening, Aaron. So these guys are definitely going to have a bit of a rough night. We've got a couple of drivers out there. Your David Garmans, your Kellen Mitchners, a few other guys out there. They're real road course aces, even in a cup car. Kellen I raced with at the 24 Hours of Daytona. He did this. He knows this track very well. Looks like Aiden the Kid Trevette is also very fast here tonight. Matt Johnston's up there as well. So there'll be some new names at the front. There'll be some names we're used to seeing at the front. And there is no telling what other kind of surprises we're going to have tonight. Now, before we go talk to Mr. Garman, let's take a quick look at the point standings. There are the Season 3 standings so far. You got Kyle Holden up at the front. He started to open up a little bit of a lead on AJ Godsey. Kyle and AJ both locked into the playoffs with 2 wins each. Harley Barletta, Zach Henson, Kellen Mitchner, and Jared Heasley are also all locked in. They have 1 win each. AJ being in second, Jeff Hinkle is third, JJ Parr fourth, Stephen Gibson fifth, Aiden the Kid Trevette is sixth, Harley Barletta seventh, Zach Henson eighth, Kellen Mitchner ninth, Rick Sargent is 10th, Jared Heasley 11th, and Matt Johnston is 12th. However, David Garman just 4 points out of the lead, or out of the top 12. He is right there within striking distance of a playoff position. And after a couple of rough races over the last month, he is definitely looking forward to a good race here tonight. In fact, let me see if I can find Mr. Garman and get him into the chat. See if we can talk to him briefly. Make sure he's not in the middle of racing somebody side by side here. I'm not seeing him on there. Okay. Oh, there's David. Right behind the 32. David Garman, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Going on, Doug.
Hey, man. Looks like you've got a fast car here tonight.
Looks like it so far.
Well, you're definitely tracking a lot faster than most everybody else, and you are the race sponsor with NSM Wraps. Are they the ones that do? I believe they're the ones that do all your paint jobs. Is that correct?
Yeah, they do my paint jobs for a discounted price, obviously. But they're my sponsor for my team, and they do pretty good work. So if you're ever looking to get a car painted for a decent price, go check them out. They do really good work, and they've got a full staff of people that are ready to do anything. So.
Awesome. So what, now I was hearing in pre-race, 15 to 20 laps on fuel, and obviously tires are a huge issue here. How many laps are you going to try and shoot for? Are you going to try and make it one stop or two?
I'll probably just one stop if I can, depending on how far I can stretch it. And then as far as the tire wear goes, yeah, that's going to be the big battle for today. Is just try not to overdo your tires and overcook them.
Well, that is definitely a problem here. And what do you see as being? You're one of the road course aces in the group. So, what do you see as being the places you're going to get the most advantage off of some of these other guys?
I think the infield's going to be pretty good, and then that bus stop or chicane right before the start straight is going to be a good one.
Awesome. Well, you're definitely looking fast out there tonight. Look out, Heasley's in the wall right in front of you.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, man. Well, best of luck. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you after the race, and hopefully, you have a great race. We might talk to you mid race too.
All right, bud. I'll see you.
See you, David. All right, that was David Gorman. He, as I mentioned, is the race sponsor along with his team NSM Wraps, who do his team paints. You see that paint job he is running right now. We'll try and get a different look at it real quick. He runs a similar paint scheme on all his cars, and interestingly enough, he is a RC racer. And his RC cars, his dirt RC cars anyway, all have a very similar paint job. So, very, very cool that he's got that across everything. And I know, he told me he does a lot of his own RC paints. That's not an easy task. I don't do my own RC paints. All my custom RC bodies, I have somebody else do because I have no artistic talent. So there we have it. That was David Garman. And looks like we might be not having a Harley Barletta tonight. Looks like he is having some computer problems. Fortunately, he is locked into the playoffs, so hopefully he'll be able to get it fixed and get back out here. They've still got a couple of minutes of practice left, so Larry, hopefully he is rushing to get his computer back up, and hopefully we'll get it going. Good evening to Becky Flowers as well. Now we are live on Facebook and on Twitch. And yeah, and the race will be on YouTube later tonight as well. So you can check out all of our channels. Go like, share, subscribe. All the links are in the broadcast notes or on the Facebook page. This broadcast will be a little bit different. We will probably not get as many replays as we normally would, and obviously we're not going to get to talk to as many drivers because we talk to them under caution a lot. However, a couple of guys have volunteered kindly to let us talk to them mid-race. That is the 32 of Jared Heasley and the 06 of David Garman, so we'll get to talk to both of them mid-race. Most of these guys, I know they could handle if we pulled them out, but it could be a little bit disconcerting. You're coming through a turn or whatnot, not expecting to be talked to, as there goes Kevin Reed. So, yeah, definitely something to look forward to, being a little bit different tonight. We'll see how things play out. They may throw a mid-race caution. We'll have to wait and see how everything plays out tonight. There's a lot of question marks. BRR has not historically done a lot of road courses. It's usually once a year and usually at Watkins Glen. So this is definitely something new for both the drivers and the admins in the league, and it's definitely going to be one heck of a show. Huge shout while we're looking at that 64 car of Kevin Reed, the Finelli Ironworks. Want to give a shout out to Frank Finelli and I believe the other two were Angelo and Tony. He forgot to pass me those names before the race, but he told me last night when we were up in the truck race. But yeah, Finelli Ironworks, Frank Finelli, and the entire Finelli family. Huge shout out to them for being a sponsor on that car. Okay. Checker flag is in the air. Qualifying is a bit longer tonight. They're doing a 10-minute qualifying run. That is to allow for the longer laps. Most of these guys are shooting for running like an average of about a 2-minute lap. Some of these guys are really, really fast. There's one that's very good on the road courses as well. That is Scotty Too Hottie Snodgrass in the 22 car. He is going out for his qualifying lap, and because they have to basically go an entire lap to get to the start finish line and start an actual timed lap, that is why the longer qualifying time tonight. So we'll jump in, and he is still running the Jar Jar car, it looks like. Oh my goodness, let's take a look. Well, maybe not. Looked like he might have been, but does not appear so. Looked like he went back to pit road for just a minute. We'll pop back in on him in a minute. There is Kevin Reed on, looks like his outlap. We'll go through the field. Oh, let's take a look at Richie West in the number 1 car. We've been watching him change his paint schemes just about every week recently, and this week is something different as well. That is a horror inspired. You got Freddy Krueger, you got Chucky, you got Jason, you got everybody on the on that car. That awesome new custom paint scheme for Richie. AJ Godsey in the 5 car. He was our points leader just a couple of weeks ago. Generally, you don't think of AJ in that Rocket Racing car as one of your road races. He dominates a lot of these ovals, but yeah, he's been pretty quick on this road course here tonight in practice, and we'll see what he can do in qualifying. Also, as always, there is the 6 of Nicole. That's what she said, Creasel. She is out there running her outlap as well. And that she's got a Star Wars on the hood and Gone with the Wind on the rear bumper, along with a breast cancer awareness ribbon. It's a huge shout out for that. Aiden the Kid Trevette is driving a new paint scheme this week as well. He is driving the Monster Energy car. JJ Parr in the 15 car, his usual paint scheme. Then we've got the 18 of Kyle Holden in his usual paint scheme. Just going through the field, kind of letting you guys see each and every car so your favorites get spotted out. There is the 20 of Rick Sargent. The 21 of Steven Gibson. The 23 of Jeff Hinkle. Jeff had some pretty quick times in practice, and that was a bit of a surprise. He's not one that enjoys, we hear much about him road racing, but he's been pretty quick out there, so we'll see what he's got for him tonight. 24 of Zach Henson in his usual paint scheme with the Cheerwine on the back. Spent a lot of time looking at his back bumper at Talladega last night. That was a rough race. That video is actually uploaded to YouTube. It was a BRR High Speed Series. We had a lot of fun last night. And the 34, Christy May's car of my buddy Larry Ashby. The 47 of Kellen Mitchner. There's the 64 of Kevin Reed in the Finelli Ironworks car again. Topher Baltimore in the 73. 81 of Jason Rome. Huge shout out to Jason. He puts up the BRRpoints.com site. He keeps all the points and whatnot updated. And he's the one we have to thank for the point screen tonight. So he'll be helping. I'll be asking for a little help from him getting something set up for all the broadcasts, all the different leagues this week, so that we have some point stuff on screen a little more easily. Matt Johnston in the 93 car. And the 95 of Bill Percy. Funny fact I found out about Bill Percy a couple weeks ago. Bill's a truck driver, and he actually has the truck driving simulator installed on his computer in addition to iRacing. That one made me scratch my head. And Aiden Trevette dropping in saying we can talk to him mid-race as well, so we might talk to the kid a little bit. We'll see how everything plays out as they looks like everybody's getting their first lap of qualifying done, getting into their second. They've just got a little bit of time left as Bill Percy starts his second lap. Right now, David Garman is on the pole. Kellen Mitchner is second. Aiden Trevette up there in third. AJ Godsey is fourth. Kevin Reed is fifth. Kind of not surprised by the top three. Kevin Reed being up there, he's usually pretty good on a road course, but he's definitely showing he's put in a lot of extra practice this week. Steven Gibson is in sixth, Kyle Holden seventh, Larry Ashby is currently being shown in eighth, Zach Henson ninth, Bill Percy currently in 10th. Then you got Jeff Hinkle, Rick Sargent, Jared Heasley back there in 13th. I don't expect him to stay back there. He's another one that spends a lot of time road racing, so he'll be coming to the front before too long. Nicole Creasel currently being scored in 14th, but given her lap time, there might be a few more qualify in front of her, but you don't ever count Nicole out. If nothing else happens, she will make everybody laugh so hard that they all crash in front of her. All right. So that looks like that is everybody. Scott Snodgrass still sitting at the end of pit road and has not turned a qualifying lap yet. It does not look like in that 22. However, even if he starts in the back, don't look for him to stay back there for long. He will come to the front, as he always does, especially on a track like this. Road course, he also ran the 24 Hours of Daytona. He knows his way around this track really well. Obviously, with the lack of cautions tonight, things could get very, very interesting. They will get a little bit strung out. Your faster cars will be off the front early, and then it'll just kind of, we'll have to see how everything plays out from there. There's definitely going to be some interesting stuff. I have mentioned that there will not be cautions. The admins, of course, have the option to throw a caution as needed. So we will see how things play out. Qualifying is just about over. Looks like Matt Johnston, Jared Heasley, and Nicole Creasel are the only ones on track still. Jared Heasley just banged in a 10th place lap. That bumped a couple of guys back a bit. Part of the reason for the single file restart tonight will be because of the turn one. As we watch Matt Johnston go around, we'll see if he goes all the way through turn one. No, he's not. Tends to be a lot of chaos going into turn one, and having them single file will help prevent at least a little bit of that. Harley Barletta made it in. All right. He is out trying to get at least one of his qualifying laps in. He's going to be cutting it close, but there is Harley. Even if he starts at the back, Harley is always a contender. Straighten her out. Keep going, Harley. A little early for donuts, buddy. Nicole Creasel looks like she has completed both of her laps as well. So it is only Kellen Mitchner is still showing as being on at the end of pit road in the 47. He qualified third. Matt Johnston actually managed to knock in a quicker time. When we get down here at about 30 seconds to go, we'll go over the qualifying order and get ready. Nicole Creasel's still out there. It looks like Harley Barletta is not. He will start in the back. But again, I do not expect him to be back there very long. All right, about 30 seconds left to go. Nicole's the only one left on track, so we'll go over the starting order now. Should be good to go. David Garman will start on the pole. He'll be followed by Matt Johnston, Kellen Mitchner in third, Aiden Trevette in fourth, AJ Godsey in fifth. Then you have Kevin Reed in sixth, Stephen Gibson in seventh, Kyle Holden will be eighth, Larry Ashby ninth, and Jared Heasley 10th. 11th will be Zach Henson. 12th will be Bill Percy. 13th will be JJ Parr. 14th is Jeff Hinkle. 15th is Rick Sargent. Richie West back in 16th. Nicole Creasel 17th. Harley Barletta 18th. Jason Rome 19th. Scotty Too Hottie will start back in 20th. And 21st will be Cheryl Newman, then Topher Baltimore and RJ Buchanan rounds out the field at 23. Even with the road course, we've got a full field tonight. Just waiting on Mr. Garman to get gridded up. There he is. And he will lead them down. And thankfully, they've got a Porsche pace car tonight. They don't have to worry about the Ford Mustang breaking down at the front of the field and having problems there. So Looks like just about everybody is gridded up, waiting on one or two more, and then they will begin their half a pace lap here. And the original plan was a single file restart. However, it looks like they're lining up too wide, so might have been a glitch in the matrix, and we might be looking at a double file restart, which will definitely make for an exciting turn one. And if we're honest, it'll make for an exciting international horseshoe when they, right after turn one, the sweeping left-hander, they have the international horseshoe at the other end of that short little straightaway, right-hand turn, and that could definitely be interesting. We'll see if they line up single file or not as Mr. Garmin comes through the bus stop. This track is 3.57 miles long, 14 turns, and all sorts of banking, obviously, with it being a road course. You got the high banked 28-degree banks here at, 30-degree banks here at Daytona. And then you got completely flat turns on the infield section, and just a lot of interesting different stuff. Looks like everybody is trying to settle in single file, so we will see what happens there. And looks like most of the field is at least going through the NASCAR chicane single file. Got a few of them too wide towards the back. We'll see what happens on that restart as David Garmin is bringing them down. Green flag in the air. We are underway off into turn one, and I don't think the excitement is going to be with the front. I think it's going to be somewhere back behind him. Let's go look mid-pack or further back in the pack. There is Scotty Too Hotty Snodgrass. Doesn't look like anybody is off in the horseshoe yet. Up front, David Garmin, or in the turn one, David Garmin up front. Mid-pack with the 32 of Jared Heasley as they come up to speed. Nobody's spinning back there, and I guarantee you looks like there's going to be quite a few position changes once we get back to the start-finish line, as David Garmin is already checked out a bit. 0.2 seconds back to Matt Johnston, and then he's got over a second on Kellen Mitchner right now. And the 47 of Kellen Mitchner looked like he was one of the fastest in practice, and he might be the one. Him and Matt might be the only two that can challenge David tonight. We will have to see. Pit strategy is going to play out. You heard Garmin say in the pre-race he was going to do a single pit stop if he could. We'll have to wait and see the strategy for some of these other drivers. They were talking about two pit stops. Tire wear definitely being a factor here. There is the 64 of Kevin Reed. He is currently running in 6th place. Work our way back through the field and see where everybody's at, as the 21 and 32 look like they were going to try the chicane side by side. The 32 wisely backed out of it, and here comes the 34 of Larry Ashby. He's another one that could sneak his way to the front in that 34 car, the Christy Mays car. He's another one that ran the 24 Hours of Daytona, and he was quite fast. Bill Percy hanging on to 11th right now. He's actually moved up a position. And I know Bill put a lot of time into this week as well. It'll be interesting to see how he does. I know he takes everything very seriously, puts in the practice, and gets the job done when he needs to. J.J. Parr right behind him in the 15 car, being chased around by Richie West in the number 1 in the horror-themed car. And the man on the move so far, Mr. Computer Issues tonight, Harley Barletta, no practice, no qualifying, started in 18th, up to 14th already. And if he can hold on to the tires, he might be able to get up there to the top 5 before this thing's all said and done. Looks like the 22 of Scott Snodgrass has been to pit road. Not sure what happened there. But he is coming back out. Back up with Harley Barletta in the 55. Then behind him we have the 23 of Jeff Hinkle. Then behind him is the 24 of Zach Henson. Rick Sargent in the 20 car a little further back, coming out onto the oval. Then you got the 81 of Jason Rome, and Jason is definitely an expert with Daytona, but high-speed drafting. So it'll be interesting to see how Jason does here tonight. I know he races a lot of different stuff. Don't know how much road racing he does, though. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Topher Baltimore in the 73, started in 22nd. He's up to 19th. Scott is up to 20th now in the 22 car, currently being scored. We'll see what happens when he comes back across the line. Cheryl Newman is 21st, and Nicole Creasel is currently 22nd. And I did not see, I'm not sure if RJ Buchanan even went ahead and started the race. I'm not seeing him on track. Back up front, David Garman has opened up a 2.5 lead over Matt Johnston. And it looks like we might have a bit of a battle going on mid-pack. The 5 and the 64, AJ Gotze and Kevin Reed, they are running 5th and 6th, and they are not, AJ's not able to get away from Kevin. We'll see how this deal plays out, because both of them put a lot of time, as we've got the 47 of Kellen Mitchner. Look like he spun coming back up onto the banking. He is going to fall back several positions. As we see, it looked like the 15 went by him. That's going to move Aiden Trevette up to about 3rd. AJ will be up in 4th. Kevin Reed will be 5th. And another car on the move is the 32, Jared Heasley. Currently being scored in 8th, started in 10th. He'll be moved up, and he is right on the back bumper of Kellen Mitchner. And I know for a fact from a couple weeks ago, Kellen Mitchner helped Jared quite a bit with his road racing for the 24 Hours of Daytona. And while I'm mentioning that, huge shout out to Graham Bardsley. He is from the UK, so he obviously can't make these races late at night, but he runs in the GT series on Saturdays with us. He has helped a lot of these guys get better at racing. Looks like Kellen had a slowdown, and Jared's taking advantage of it. As the 32 drops to the inside, that's going to move Jared up to 7th. Kellen is now back to 8th. So Kellen and Graham Bardsley both have helped a lot of the guys in the league with their racing on the road courses. Especially one guy that masquerades as an announcer from time to time. He's gotten a lot of help from Graham Bardsley. There is the 11 of Aiden Trevette. He is back. He is currently up into 3rd place. He is on quite a run. He is the 3rd fastest car on the track right now. Obviously, the first is David Garman. David currently running a 2nd to 2 seconds faster a lap than Matt Johnston. Matt Johnston now 7 seconds behind David Garman. Only about 4 laps into this race, and we're already seeing who the dominant car is, but anything could happen. Even though they're running 2-minute laps, David Garman's actually running 1:56. Lap traffic will eventually become an issue for some of these leaders, and especially after that first pit stop, which we'll be starting to look for some of those pit stops here in about 10 laps. As David comes around to complete lap 4, there he is at the start-finish line. Let's take a ride around the track with him as he dives off into turn 1. This is one of the tough places to get one of these big heavy cars around. It's difficult in a GT car to get the car woed up enough and get around that corner without losing it. But David makes it look easy here. Got a little too far into the International Horseshoe, but he gets it turned around. He is actually gaining on, I do believe, Nicole Kriesel right in front of him. Going through the kink, and the infield kink, and dropping down here. That is Nicole Kriesel right in front of him. They both might get a little drafting help up here on the banking. Nicole goes wide, lets David by easily. And David gets back out onto the oval banking. As you hear him hit third gear, he'll hit fourth here any minute and be at full speed, and then have to get her woed up for the bus stop. And here we go down into the bus stop. You've got to cut this just right. The track can actually, if you cut it too much, the track will punish you. You'll have to take a short penalty and slow down. If you don't cut it, you have the potential of running in there too deep and going off track. So it is a balancing act. Coming through here, he's got to start slowing down. Here comes the NASCAR chicane. This obviously put in for NASCAR in 2020, and iRacing quickly got it put in, and you can see iRacing has even updated it to what was put in for Daytona this year. And that was a lap with David Garman around the track. Meanwhile, Matt Johnston back. It looks like the 24 of Zach Henson is on pit road. Yes, he is. Looks like he has some damage. He is missing his hood at the moment, so he's in. They have one fast repair for tonight, but they definitely don't want to use it. Matt Johnston has closed that gap back up dramatically in the 93. I do believe, looking at the lap times, last time by, David Garman has slowed down quite a bit. The last lap, Matt Johnston was faster. And if I had to guess, I would say David is saving some tires, saving some fuel. He definitely knows he can get way out in the front. And it is great to see David back up front again tonight after a rough couple of weeks on oval. Oh, thanks, Jeff. And there is the 11 of Aiden the Kid Trevette. Back behind him in fifth spot is our fearless leader, AJ Godsey, in the Rocket Racing Setups number 5 car. He is currently in fourth place right now, 22 seconds behind Garmin. And he has opened up a little bit of a lead on Kevin Reed. Kevin in the Finelli Ironworks car, currently sitting back in fifth. He is about 4 or 5 seconds behind AJ Godsey at this point. Kyle Holden in the 18 is in sixth. And Larry Barletta, here's an interesting tidbit. Harley started in 18th, just took 11th. So he is on the move. He's got Larry Ashby and Steven Gibson right in front of him. He is using every bit of that. Richie West looks like he's trying to make a move to the inside, so he might get pushed back to 12th, but Harley is definitely on the move. He is the biggest mover so far. Jared Heasley also started in 10th. He's up to 8th. Kyle Holden started in 8th in the 18 car. He is now up to 5th. It looks like he's taken that position from Kevin Reed, and he's trying to run down AJ Godsey. See if we've got any other big movers. Richie West, huge shout out to Richie, not known as a road racer. Zach Henson's coming off pit road there to the inside. We might see a little excitement here as he comes back on track right beside Larry, Richie, and Harley. Looks like he's going to come out even with Harley. Harley's got the line. He'll make it into the turn. Richie West started in 16th. He is up to 11th already. But you can see some of these cars already starting to show that that tire wear is becoming a little bit of an issue. You'll definitely see it through through this infield section. Although it's got just a little bit of banking on this turn, when they get back on the gas, the back end will definitely slide around on them if they're not careful. I think that's what happened to Kellen Mitchner earlier in the race. We saw him that he had spun getting up onto the banking. And looks like Richie's got that thing dialed in. He is actually doing really well. Never seen Richie do much road racing outside of the league stuff, but he's definitely showing he deserves to be up there tonight. So he's going to be trying to come to the front. And David Garman still up front leading. He is about to lap, it looks like, the 73 of Topher Baltimore. Looks like Topher was struggling there in turn one. Might have been just going a little wide to let David by. And Garman has now lapped 6 cars so far. Nicole Kriesel, Zach Henson, as the 81 of Jason Rome has hit the inside wall. Let's try and see if we can see what happened to Jason. All right, looks like we found the incident with Jason, and this will show you what we're talking about with the tire wear. As he comes out of the International Horseshoe, he gets on the gas, gets a little wide. You can see it start to slide inward, and then it just completely breaks loose on him and sends him into that retaining wall. Fortunately, it does not look like he's got a lot of damage, so he can get around to get the necessary repairs if he wants. Up front is still David Garman. As we were talking about a moment ago, obviously a few of these guys have had issues, but right now cars already been lapped. Nicole Kriesel, Zach Henson, Topher Baltimore is on pit road. Jason Rome, obviously due to the incident, and he is very close to lapping Cheryl Newman, Rick Sargent, Scott Snodgrass, and Bill Percy. And apparently when I try and say Scott's name the right way, I just can't. So we'll henceforth just have to call him Scotty Too Hottie, which I know Becky will love that. Looking at Scott's lap times, I would expect him to be picking up some positions before long. He is actually running quite fast. He's picked up a couple of positions on the last lap, and he definitely knows his way around the track. And we are on lap 9. David Garman still leading, and let's see where the kid is. Aiden the Kid Trevette. Currently in third. We'll wait for Aiden to get up on the banking and see if we can talk to him as soon as I find him. There he is. All right, so once he gets up on the banking, I know he's listening in, so this will give him a little bit of a moment to be prepared for us. All righty. Hey, kid, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Got you, Doug.
Hey, man, you are running some really fast laps on par with David. Do you think with some pit strategy you can get up there and run with him?
I sure hope so. They're way ahead of me, but I'm trying.
Well,
Trying to catch up with me.
Well, you're definitely turning some fast laps, buddy. Are you doing a one stop? Are you going to one stop it or two stop it tonight?
I'm gonna try to stretch it to 1, hopefully, but we'll see here.
And how them tires feeling?
Oh, they feel amazing right now. Still breaking them in.
All right, man. Well, hopefully you can get another 10 or so laps and get you a single car or a single pit, and best of luck to you, buddy.
I appreciate it, Doug.
All right, that was Aiden the Kid Trevette in the 11 car, currently running in third. Looks like Scott has picked up another position. He is up to 16th now. The 55 of Harley Barletta is currently still holding in 12th, and Richie West still continues to charge forward. He is now up to 10th. And the 32 of, what is his name? Let's see. Gerard Heisley, I think. That is a running joke, but that is Jared Heasley in the 32. What a pretty car, too. We'll be talking to him after his first pit stop and see how things are going with him. He is currently running in 8th, holding pretty steady. He looks like he's actually gaining a little bit on Kevin Reed in the 64. We saw Kellen Mitchner off earlier. He dropped all the way back to 9th. He is on a mission right now. His last lap was actually faster than everybody. He is currently back up to 6th place, and it would not be surprising if after that pit stop he closes down a little bit of that gap on David Garman. Back in the day, you had people like Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart were your road course aces in NASCAR. And Kellen Mitchner, David Garman, and it looks like Matt Johnston are going to be the road course aces here in BRR. And it looks like the 55 of Harley Barletta, no, he just blinked out for a minute. And we saw Matt Johnston had closed within about 5 seconds. And it does look like Harley Barletta is on pit road, lap 11. As I was saying, we saw Matt Johnston in the 93. He had closed down that gap to David Garman. He had closed it down to about 4 seconds at one point. It looks like David Garman just is taking off. He has opened the gap back up to about 7 seconds. It doesn't look like Matt Johnston goes off right there, just locks the brakes up, trying to get onto the banking. Did not look like he hit, but that did hit him in the time. Aiden Trevette now right to his back bumper. He is actually close enough to have the draft now, and I do believe Matt Johnston's about to have his hands full. Interesting fact about that 11 car, he is a driver in real life. He drives some dirt tracks in his area. Got to see some pictures out of his car yesterday. He posted them in the group and said that looked like there was something wrong with his monitor, but the realism in that dirt car was way better than iRacing. So several of the guys in this group have some kind of, as we've got a car off to the inside, it looks like it's Cheryl Newman. Looked like she was trying to get to pit road and just got a little off kilter, so we were starting to see some green flag stops here. You got Harley Barletta and Cheryl Newman both on pit road. Harley is now back off of pit road. And it looks like Harley's going to two-stop this race. Some of these guys, as you heard Aiden and David say, they are both going to try and do one stop for the race. AJ Godsey said he was going to try and two-stop it, as did Kevin Reed, but neither of them has come to pit road yet. If they are going to two-stop it, we're going to see that within the next lap or so. Nicole Kriesel now on pit road as well in the 6 car. She'll get 4 fresh tires and get back out there. And they did say 15 to 20 laps on fuel. A lot of these guys said there was no way they could one-stop it, but if they save just a little bit, I do believe they can. Meanwhile, a ways back, Matt Johnston is still got the 11 car right on his back bumper. And we've got a little bit of a battle forming from about 5th place on back. AJ Godsey is right in front of this 18 car. AJ currently in 4th place. There you see AJ, the 18 of Kyle Holden, the 47 of Kellen Mitchner still on a charge as the 55 slides off of the bus stop. Here comes the 64. The 73 slides off in the bus stop. You can see that tire wear. The 73 obviously has been out a while, so tire wear is a huge impact right now for him. And the 55 has not had enough time yet to get his tires up to full temperature, and that's why when he got on the brakes, his car slid just a little bit. It takes as the 64 missed the NASCAR chicane, as did the 73. It looks like Topher struggling tonight. That comes as a little bit of a surprise. Topher is usually not one to be struggling, but he's usually a very fast contender, but yeah, he is out there having problems. And with David Garman up in the lead, if he continues this dominating run as he comes around to look, looks like David Garman just went to pit road. David Garman just pit while we were watching all that chaos. He made a quick pit stop, so he is going to two-stop this race. And he's got Kellen Mitchner right in front of him. We'll see when they come back around on scoring. I don't know how many positions he will lose, but I know it won't be a lot. And on those fresh tires, he is definitely faster. We'll see how quickly he can deal with the 47. 47, one of the top contenders. I would imagine we will see him on pit road before long. So far, we've had, excuse me, Nicole Kriesel, Topher Baltimore, Zach Henson, Cheryl Newman, Harley Barletta have all pit in the last few laps, as has leader David Garman. And David had about an 8-9 second lead. So not enough. He will have lost a couple of positions, but we'll see. He will probably get those back rather quickly. He'll be running some extremely fast laps right here in a minute. GT cars, when they run around here, their tire fall off is not big, but these Goodyears, yeah, they fall off a lot. Let's ride along with Garmin again now that he is in some traffic and see what it looks like coming out of the NASCAR chicane. He's got the 18, Kyle Holden right there to the outside, easily passes him on those fresh tires, and there is AJ Godsey in 5th. AJ managed to recover or pick up a couple of spots on David Garman, but now David Garman back in 4th. He is charging to the front. Kellen Mitchner in the 47 is on pit road. He had worked his way up to 6. It looks like the 32 of Jared Heasley is also on pit road. And I'd imagine we're about to see a lot of cars come to pit road now that the leader has. To give you an idea, the lap times, the last few laps have been just about 2 minutes, 1 second, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. With a pit stop, David Garman's last lap was 2 minutes and 24 seconds. This lap will be a little bit longer as well because he crosses the start-finish line going onto pit road. But he will have only lost about 45 seconds with that pit stop. As far ahead as he was and as fast as he is, it will take him no time to recover that. Meanwhile, up front, it looks like we might have a challenge for the lead. just a moment ago, Aiden Trevette was scored just right on the back bumper of Matt Johnston. As Nicole Creasel goes high to let the leaders get by, she slows down just a little bit. And we will see if these two go to pit road. Now that they've seen David Garman is gone, they know he's going to be a little bit faster. As they come through the NASCAR chicane, the 93 gets up on those bumps and gets a little bit wiggly coming off. Neither one of them coming to pit road yet, though. And they've got to be watching the relative on David Garman. He is not that far behind these two. Kellen Mitchner back off pit road. Jared Heasley is off pit road. Topher Baltimore currently on pit road. And David Garman right back up to the front. He has got first place Matt Johnston, second place Aiden Trevette, and Aiden goes wide into the International Horseshoe. David Garman takes second place and has Matt Johnston right in front of him for the lead. And when they go down in here, we'll see. David can definitely brake a lot later and get through the corner a lot faster, but Matt Johnston is not giving him any wiggle room here. He's going to make David fight for it. And looks like Matt was pushing, trying to keep the 06 behind him. Just got a little too wide. David saw the opportunity and jumped. J.J. Parr now on pit road. Rick Sargent is on pit road. For some, Topher Baltimore still on pit road at the moment. We'll see if he's having some kind of problem. Let's take a quick look on pit road and see. Looks like he might be getting some damage repaired. "15 laps in, Matt Johnston, Aiden Trevette, Kyle Holden, AJ Godsey, Kevin Reed, Larry Ashby, Richie West, Stephen Gibson, and Jeff Hinkle are your top 10. David Garman up there in third, but the rest of the top 10 has not pitted yet. And looking back at our fan favorites, after the pit stop, Harley Barletta was way back in about 18th, 19th place. He is now back up. He is now back up to 16th. Scotty Too Hottie had fallen back quite a ways as well, as David Garman goes a little wide through turn one. And, David Garman's struggling. Looked like he just got into turn one a little off kilter and really messed up the whole corner. Scott Snodgrass right there. Scott's up to 15th now as well. 47 of Kellen Mitchner back off of pit road. He's currently running in 13th, and now everybody comes to pit road. The 93 of Matt Johnston, Aiden Trevette's on pit road. Kevin Reed is on pit road. Kyle Holden and AJ Godsey both still out. Topher Baltimore still on pit road, as it looks like the 22 had some sort of problem coming through the infield there. He gets it recovered and gets going again. Does not look like he has any significant damage at the moment. And now Larry Ashby in the 34 had made his way up to 7th. He gives up 7th to pit now as well. Now, if Kyle Holden and AJ Godsey stay out longer, will it give him any kind of advantage? If they single stop this, they might be able to sneak a win here. Just a little bit of pit strategy. They only need to go about 2 more laps and they could single pit stop this race. It looks like Richie West, Stephen Gibson, and Jeff Hinkle are all staying out as well. Scott Snodgrass has stayed out. Well, he stopped about 14 laps ago. But he is staying out as well, trying to pick up some more positions. Bill Percy is staying out as well. Let's go take a quick look at Bill. Bill's been putting a lot of time in on road racing here lately, and you see it is starting to pay off. He has got JJ Parr right in front of him. JJ just stopped for tires 2 laps ago. Bill's not letting him get away. And looks like Kyle Holden and AJ Godsey are going to pit road. There they are. 17 laps in, just before halfway, so they know they can make it to the end from here if they need to. 32 of Jared Heasley back up to 10th after his pit stop and making a pass on the 1 of Richie West, it looks like. We'll see what the scoring says here in just a moment, but a couple of cars are starting to make some big moves after the pit stop. Richie West is going to pit road. Looks like Steven Gibson in the 21 is coming to pit road. And I do believe that only leaves Jeff Hinkle and Bill Percy out there without having pitted yet. Jeff Hinkle now up to 7th place, started in 14th. And Jeff Hinkle right behind the number 11 of Aiden the Kid Trevette. And Bill Percy is coming to pit road. So that leaves Jeff Hinkle in the 23. He's been out there since the beginning. Scott Snodgrass in the 22 has, has been out there since lap 2 when he had to stop early. And it looks like Jason Rome in the 81. We saw him have some problems earlier. He did not stop for repairs at that point. He's been out there for 16 laps now as well. Meanwhile, the 06 of David Garman just continues to run away from the field. He is currently being shown over 30 seconds ahead of second place Matt Johnston as he comes through the infield. And throughout this cycle of pit stops, that 32 car of Jared Heasley now up to 5th. The 23 of Jeff Hinkle now up to 7th. Kyle Holden in the 18. He started in 8th. He is up to 3rd now. But he's got an AJ Godsey coming full force behind him. Kevin Reed also in the Finelli Ironworks car. He is now back up into 5th. He had slipped back to almost 9th. And Jeff Hinkle comes to pit road in the 23. David Garman still up in the lead and continuing to put cars a lap down. After this cycle of pit stops, almost everybody is pitted. Jason Rome and Scott Snodgrass still out there. But after this cycle of pit stops, it's going to look like we're going to have Jeff Hinkle, Bill Percy, Harley Barletta, and Richie West is on pit road again. Not sure what's going on there, but Richie West had already pitted. He is back to pit road. I'm not seeing any damage, but although it's kind of hard to tell with all the blood on the car, so I'm not seeing any significant damage to that car. But he gave up about 13th place to duck back down pit road. He's not getting tires. He might have gotten a speeding penalty off pit road. The 81 of Jason Rome now on pit road. There's Jason. As the 06 of David Garman continues to lap cars. Now we've got with Scott Snodgrass on pit road now and Richie West back on pit road. Looks like we're only going to have about 10 to 12 cars on the lead lap. You've got David Garman in first, Matt Johnston second, Kyle Holden, AJ Godsey, and Kevin Reed round out the top 5. Then the 32 of Jared Heasley is 6th, Aiden Trevette is 7th, Kellen Mitchner is 8th. Jeff Hinkle is being scored in ninth, 1 lap down at the moment. So we may only have 8 cars on the lead lap. And when the next round of pit stops comes around, there's no telling how many cars will be left. David Garman is definitely running some extremely fast laps right now and just dominating the entire field. Jared Heasley currently slipping back to about 7th place, and it looks like he just got passed by the 64 of Kevin Reed. Aiden Trevette right there. He's got Richie West right in front of him. Richie a couple laps down now. Aiden currently running in 5th. AJ is 4th. Kyle Holden is in 3rd, and Matt Johnston is in 2nd. But it's beginning to look like nobody has anything for David Garman tonight. And it looks like Topher Baltimore continues to struggle as he comes through. He has to serve a slowdown penalty after the NASCAR chicane. Larry Ashby currently running in 9th. He has managed to stay on the lead lap so far. Great job by him. Kellen Mitchner in the 47. He was one of the favored drivers coming into the night, but he has struggled almost since the outset. Started in 3rd. He ended up way back in the pack after just a couple laps into the race. He is now working his way back up, currently in 8th. But Jared Heasley right in front of him in 7th. Just looking at some of these lap times, and last time by, the fastest car on track was that 11 car again. He is even 2 seconds faster a lap currently than the leader. AJ Kotze's the only other one even close to him, and they're running fairly similar times, but Aiden's still a little bit faster. There's the 5 car of AJ Gotze, and he might want to start worrying right about now, because the kid is only about see when it comes past the next scoring loop. It was showing him less than 20 seconds behind and coming very quickly. David Garman still way up there in the front. Let's take a look and see if he's got anybody close to him. We'll try and pull David in and talk to him real quick. Wait till he gets up on the banking, have a quick chat with him, and let him get back to it. Hey, David, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
What's going on, Doug?
Hey, man. Looks like you went with a 2-stop strategy. Only a couple of guys did the single-stop strategy. Is that going to pay off for you?
I think it will. With the short pit, I was able to get back up front without them pitting, and then some other things happened. So I think it'll be all right. We'll just have to wait till the end to figure it out.
Well, at this point, you've got such a big lead, you could probably pull over and go run grab a 6-pack, come back, and still get the win here tonight.
About a 6-pack, but I could probably go grab something.
All right, man. Well, you're definitely the only other car driving laps competitive to yours. So right at the moment, at least, is that 11 car. So keep an eye out for him. But right now, you've got such a big lead. It's going to take a miracle for him to get to you.
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
All right. Good luck, buddy. That was David Garman in the '06 car. And as I mentioned, the only car as fast as him is that 11 car of Aiden Trevette. We saw AJ Gotzi run a couple of laps that were pretty competitive, but he is just not as consistently fast as that 11 car. Currently showing 11 cars on the lead lap. JJ Parr is the last car on the lead lap. He is in the 15, and he is right in front of David Garman. And when David gets around him, it'll be 10 cars on the lead lap. That'll be David Garman, of course, Matt Johnston, AJ Gotzi, Kyle Holden, Aiden Trevette, Kevin Reed, Kellen Mitchner, Jared Heasley, and Larry Ashby, and Steven Gibson. Haven't talked much about Steven tonight. He is definitely doing quite well here. Another one that's not one of your big road racers, but he is definitely doing a great job. He's running lap times within a second of the leaders. And it looks like Jared Heasley had some problems on the last lap. He was very slow, lost one position to Kellen Mitchner in the 47. That's going to move the 47 back up into 7th place and trying to run down Kevin Reed. Kevin's just about 5 seconds in front of him. But it looks like Kellen is about a second a lap faster right now than the 64 car. There is the '06 of David Garman again, just putting on a clinic tonight. Don't know what else to say. He has been the dominant force all night long. And even with that short pit strategy, it took him barely 2 laps to get back to the front. However, we've got some of these guys out here that stopped later than him. He will have to make a second stop. There's a few cars in the field that will not. You got AJ Gotzi, Kyle Holden, Matt Johnston may not have to make a second stop. It'll be very close, but AJ Gotzi and Kyle Holden, neither of them need to make a second stop. Steven Gibson shouldn't need to. Bill Percy won't need to. Scott Snodgrass and Richie West will not need to. That's an opportunity for those two to get back to the lead lap. And Jason Rome will not need to. Jason, we saw him have some issues earlier. He is dropped back to about 20th right now. Looks like he might pick up another position as the 8 car of Cheryl Newman is on pit road. There's the 81 of Jason Rome. Trying to close back up to the back bumper of Rick Sargent and Zach Henson. And there is Rick. He is currently in 18th place. He is being scored 2 laps down. And surprisingly, the 24 of Zach Henson having a little bit of a struggle. We saw him on pit road early having to get some repairs. He was missing his hood. They got him fixed up. He is back out, but currently running in 17th after qualifying 11th. Harley Barletta in the 55, currently in 14th spot. He has recovered a few of those positions. He's trying to close back up to the back bumper of Bill Percy. And there's Bill Percy right in front of him. But Harley will have to make one more stop. Bill Percy will not. Another fan favorite, Scotty Too Hottie. He is back there in, 15th right now. He is moving forward. Looks like the 24 of Zach Henson is going in for his final stop. A couple of cars still on pit road. The 5 and the 73, or the 8 and the 73, excuse me. Cheryl Newman and Topher Baltimore both on pit road. Still at the moment. We'll see if they get back out on the track. In the meantime, David Garman continues to lay down some of the fastest laps all night, but last time by, Kyle Holden was fastest, then AJ Godsey and Aiden Trevette. Aiden Trevette now up to 5th place in the number 11. And there is Scott in the background trying to reclaim a lap or two. Looks like Cheryl Newman in tow for Baltimore. Oh, Scotty Too Hottie just hit the inside wall coming through turn 1. Let's try and see if we can see what happened. I would imagine that is a tire wear incident. And it does look like it is. Looks like Scott coming through turn 1. He got woed up correctly, and when he tried to get set for the turn, got on the gas, just hit that inside wall, bounced back off. Had to hold himself there for a moment to make sure he didn't come back out and merge. Good job by him recovering. He is still going. Very little damage to the front of his car. That was a slow speed wreck, fortunately. Meanwhile, David Garman continues to lap cars. Next on the agenda is the 9th place car, the 32 of Jared Heasley, and he is barely a straightaway ahead. David Garman continuing to run cars down. And Kyle Holden now on pit road. He gave up 3rd place to come to pit road. Got just 11 laps to go, so I would imagine we will see all the leaders pit here momentarily, including the 06 of David Garman. We'll probably see him pit either this time by or the next time by. Looks like Cheryl Newman and Topher Baltimore may be out. They have been on pit road for quite a while now. Kellen Mitchner in the 47 is now on pit road. And we'll see if the leader goes to pit road right now or not. As he comes through the NASCAR chicane, we'll see what his strategy is. It's about the perfect time for him to go. He gets back up off, does not enter pit road. Let's see if Matt Johnston in the 93, he is now up to 2nd as he comes through the bus stop. And remember, right behind him, I say right behind him, about 30 seconds back from him is AJ Godsey in the 5 car. AJ Godsey stopped just 9 laps ago. He can go the distance without another stop as he comes up behind Bill Percy. Steven Gibson in the 21 gives up 11th to come to pit road. And the 06 is coming around. He is lapping the 81 of Jason Rome now. And the 06 is definitely running down the 32 of Jared Heasley now. He's closing up. AJ Godsey's on pit road. This is a bit of a surprise as you see Harley Barletta now on pit road as well. Bit surprised AJ Godsey could have gone the distance from there on the fuel and tires. We saw him do the first half on one set. A little bit surprised as Rick Sargent now on pit road. AJ Godsey's coming, Harley Barletta in the 55 now back up off pit road. Harley currently up to 13th position. And now it's a question of when the 06 is going to come to pit road. Will it be? It is. David Garman, leader, is going to give up his position to hop down pit road. And if the 93 stays out, he should be able to pull off leading a lap. Well, it'll be a little bit close, but the 47 of Kellen Mitchner back out. Aiden Trevette, Kevin Reed, and Larry Ashby can all go the distance on fuel, and they all went to the halfway point on their tires, so they should be able to go the rest of the race. The question is going to be, will they try anything different? Will they try and pit, try and see if they can pick up some speed? The 93 of Matt Johnston goes to pit road. The 5-car of AJ Gotze is now back out, and he's currently being scored in third. We'll see if he can pick up anything. The 06 is coming back off pit road. The 32 of Jared Heasley made his final pit stop. Matt Johnston still on pit road. Aiden Trevette and Kevin Reed still out there, though. Let's see if the kid pits this time by or not, and then we'll have to look and see if Kevin Reed, if they have the right pit strategy or not. They're still out there. Looks like Aiden is going to continue to go. 64 of Kevin Reed's looking low. He is going to pit road now. And the only one left out there is the 11 and the 34 of Larry Ashby. Larry up to 7th already. Looks like he might pick up 6th place off of Kevin Reed as well. Aiden Trevette now up to 3rd place in that 11 car by virtue of just staying out. Larry Ashby's coming to pit road, so the 11 is the only car on the lead lap that is still out there. Bill Percy 1 lap down in the 95. He is not pitted yet either. So only 2 cars left out on the track now. The 11 car and the 95, neither have pitted. See where the 95 is at. There's the 95. He is trying to pick up. He's got Steven Gibson just a little bit in front of him. Let's see if we can determine how far ahead. As Bill comes through the bus stop, the 21 is coming down to the NASCAR chicane. And the 34 coming back up off pit road as the leader comes by. The 11 of Aiden Trevette still out there holding on to 3rd. He's got about 20 seconds on AJ Gotze in 4th. And no surprise. Oh, he overcooks it into the NASCAR chicane. He's going to get a slowdown penalty here. And Aiden Trevette comes to pit road, as does the 95 of Bill Percy. All right, we have got the 32 of Jared Heasley on screen right now, currently running in 9th. And he is now 1 lap down, as is Larry Ashby. So only 7 cars on the lead lap. Once he gets past Jason Rome here, we'll see if we can talk to the driver of the 32. Hey, Jared, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Doug.
Hey, you've had quite a struggle tonight, but you're holding on to that top 10. That car got any positions left it can get?
We're gonna see if we can run down Larry up here. I'm about where I expected to be, but been a little bit of a struggle. But it's going all right. I think I knew I'd be all right, but this is about where I thought I'd be.
Well, we saw some guys look like they were going to try and do it on 1 stop, and then at the last minute they're coming in for a 2nd stop. Do you think that's going to give you any kind of advantage to maybe pick up an extra position or 2 in the closing laps here?
No, Dave and I were talking about that. The only way you can make it on 2 stops is if you're going a good bit slower. If you're going full speed, you're only going 14, 15 laps. You can't make it all 18 or whatever you need to go. So the people that are doing 1 stop are so far behind me that it doesn't really affect me that much.
10-4. All right, buddy. Well, best of luck. Hopefully you'll pick up a couple more positions, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep. Thanks, buddy.
And you can hear it in Heasley's voice. Uh, he is getting a little bit worn out. I'm sure all these drivers are, all but one of them. There's one car out there that he's just running away with it. The 06 of David Garman. He now has a 1 minute, scoring updated. He's got 35-second lead over the 93 of Matt Johnston with just 7 laps to go. Will anybody be able? It's just going to take a huge mistake by David for anybody to get to him at this point. The 93 of Matt Johnston is it's now showing him about 45 seconds. We'll have to watch the time at the start-finish line to get an accurate reading on that, but Kyle Holden currently being shown over a minute behind, as is AJ Godsey. We've only got 7 cars on the lead lap. You got leader David Garman, Matt Johnston, Kyle Holden, AJ Godsey, Aiden Trevette, Kellen Mitchner, and Kevin Reed. Those are the only cars on the lead lap at the moment. The 64 of Kevin Reed, not that far ahead, but probably not within striking distance. And he actually just ran his fastest lap of the race. The 64 Finelli Ironworks car did. And it was quite fast compared to some of the other drivers out there. He was faster than a lot of these guys' fastest laps that are behind him, and a couple of them that are in front of him. He was even faster than AJ Godsey's fastest lap. So he is doing quite well tonight as well. That is how he's managed to maintain the lead lap here. Kellen Mitchner, huge shout out to him in the 47. Started in third, went all the way to the back with an early incident. Had to go to pit road, get some repairs. He came back out, has worked his way back up to 6th place after being as far back, I believe, as 15th. The 06 still leading. Matt Johnston currently in second. The 18 of Kyle Holden, he is currently in third. AJ Godsey sitting in fourth as he comes out of the NASCAR chicane. Aiden Trevette, after his pit stop, he slips back to 5th place. The 47 of Kellen Mitchner, as we mentioned, he is back in 6th, trying to run down the kid. The 64 of Kevin Reed, he is currently 7th. The 34 of Larry Ashby back in 8th in that Christy Mays restaurant. If you're ever in Albuquerque, go check out Christy Mays. The 32 of Jared Heasley currently in 9th. And the 15 of J.J. Parr, it rounds out your top 10. Then you got Jeff Hinkle in the 23. He is currently running 11th. The 21 of Steven Gibson, there he is in 12th, trying to take that 11th place from Jeff Hinkle. Harley Barletta in the 55. He has managed to recover up to 13th after computer issues and not being able to qualify, and then some issues earlier on in the race. He's had one heck of a recovery. 95 of Bill Percy back there in 14th. Richie West, I'm pretty sure he got a penalty of some kind earlier. He was starting to charge towards the front, and after his first pit stop had to go back down pit road, so he is now back to 15th. That's a tough break on the night. He was looking really strong out here. We'll have to see if he can pick up any more positions. The 22 of Scotty Too Hottie Snodgrass is in 16th after starting 20th. And having a couple of different issues early in the race, having to go to pit road on the first lap, and then hitting the wall in turn 1. The 24 of Zach Henson, we saw him earlier have some huge issues and had his front bumper and hood off, and it looks like he does again. Let's see if we can get a different camera angle. Yes, he is missing a hood, a front clip, but he is still out there fighting the good fight. He is in 17th. 18th is the 81 of Jason Rome. We saw him have issues earlier and hit the wall right there where he's going by now. Take it easy through there, Jason. But still in one piece and fighting his way back. He is in 18th. 19th is the 20 of Rick Sargent. As looks like Rick struggled getting into the NASCAR chicane. He's going to have a slowdown penalty. But he is going again. 21st is the 6 car of Nicole. That's what she said, Creasel. And she is wide. She is missing the front, pretty much the entire front clip of her car. And struggling getting through turn 1. Without all that downforce from the front clip, that would make turn 1 very, very difficult. Cheryl Newman is out, and she's in 21st. I do believe Topher Baltimore in the 73. He misses the NASCAR chicane. He'll have a slowdown penalty. He is currently shown in 22nd, but I do believe he'll pick up 21st. With 4 laps to go, he should be able to do that. 06 still way out in front. Currently being scored about 45 seconds out in front of Matt Johnston. Kyle Holden in second. Matt Johnston in second, Kyle Holden in third, AJ Godsey in fourth, Aiden Trevette in fifth. And it looks like at this point, the only battles really that are going to be settled on these last 3 or 4 laps is going to be if that 32 car can catch up to the 34 of Larry Ashby. Larry is just in front of him, just on the exit of that turn. That sure is a pretty car. So Jared Heasley is trying to run down Larry Ashby for 8th place. Larry has had quite a run tonight, currently sitting in 8th place, and Larry's no slouch on the road courses as well. But not a lot of battles in the top 10. That's about the only one going on right now. David Garman's got a big lead, obviously, on Matt Johnston. Matt's got over 10 seconds on Kyle Holden, who has about 5 seconds on AJ Godsey, who has about over 10 seconds on Aiden Trevette. Aiden's got 10 seconds on Kellen Mitchner, and Kellen's got about 6-7 seconds over Kevin Reed. So the top 7 is pretty well locked with 3 laps to go. Except for the fact that the 06 might come around and actually pull off lapping the 64 car of Kevin Reed. Let's see if we can find. He may not have enough time. It looks like Kevin's got is quite a bit ahead of him right now. As Kevin comes down the back straightaway of the NASCAR track. And David Garman just now getting up on the back straightaway, so quite a few seconds. Don't know if David will even try and run him down with just 3 coming down to 2 laps to go. Let's see, we did see a battle going on for about 13th and 12th. There's 13th place Harley Barletta, and he was closing on Jeff Hinkle earlier. So he's coming out of turn 1. And it looks like Hinkle's about almost getting back out to the back banking. I don't think Harley will be able to close that gap quite in time. And it looks like the 73 of Topher Baltimore still continues to struggle as Hinkle comes by him. And I do believe next time by Topher should take 21st place from Cheryl Newman. Cheryl completely out of the race. Only driver out, though, so far. Everybody has managed to stick around, stick it out, Even with a lot of these cars who are damaged, they're managing to hang on to it. So great job by everybody sticking to it despite the situation. Cars like Nicole Creasel missing the entire front clip. Zach Henson missing the entire front clip, still sticking around, trying to get a good finish, at least trying to get some laps in and improve just a little bit. As David comes down the back straightaway, he has opened up his lead even more. He's up to about 55 seconds. Just went around Bill Percy, and now Larry Ashby is currently being scored one lap down as he passed him a little bit ago. Let's see if he's going to be able to get to Kevin Reed. That was the last question mark we had for the night. Don't think he's going to be able to get there, as he will be taking the white flag. David Garman will be taking the white flag this time by. Driving that 06 car painted by NSM Wraps. He has a similar paint scheme on all of his cars, so it's always easy to pick him out on track. He's usually the guy in that paint scheme running away from everybody, especially in a dirt car. All right, as he comes to turn his last lap, let's see if the 32 is closed up on the 34 at all. Does not look like it as he comes through the NASCAR chicane. The 34 is way up there in front of him. I don't think he'll be able to pick up any positions. And it looks like Kevin Reed and Kellen Mitchner are fairly close together. They're only about 2 seconds of, well, nope. They're about 10 seconds apart, excuse me. Aiden Trevette and AJ Godsey are being shown just a few seconds apart. There goes Aiden to the outside. Aiden's going to pick up, it looks like, 4th place from AJ. And that'll move Aiden up to 4th and AJ back to 5th. As David Garman comes down the back straightaway for the last time. David Garman was 4 points out of the playoffs, but his win here will secure his playoff position. That'll mean after tonight we will have 7 cars securely into the playoffs, as the 81 of Jason Rome struggles on the outside trying to get out of the leader's way. And David gets right to the back bumper of Kevin Reed on the last lap, but he's not going to pull it off. But he does pull off the win. David Garman drops down to the inside, and he wins the race here at Daytona. And now he's backing up to the infield and going to start celebrating. Let everybody get by, buddy. And we will talk to our winner here in just a moment. As he sits there on Hey, David, this is Doug in the booth. You got me? You got me, David? I can't hear you. I think he might be having headset issues again here. He had some problems with his headset a couple weeks ago. We'll try and talk to him again here in a minute. And as they finish, it is David Garman with the win. Matt Johnston comes home second. Kyle Holden third. Aiden Trevette fourth. AJ Godsey pulls off a fifth place finish. Kellen Mitchner is sixth. Kevin Reed is seventh. Last car on the lead lap. Larry Ashby comes home 8th. 9th is Jared Heasley. 10th is J.J. Parr. Stephen Gibson is 11th. Jeff Hinkle 12th. Harley Barletta comes home 13th after quite a struggle tonight. So great job by him. Bill Percy comes home 14th. Great job by him. Richie West manages to recover after the penalty and comes home 15th. 16th is Scotty Too Hotty Snodgrass. Zach Henson is 17th. 18th is the 81 of Jason Rome. Rick Sargent is 19th. 20th is Nicole Kriesel. Topher Baltimore comes home 21st. And 22nd being Cheryl Newman. All right, let's try and see if we can get a hold of David Garman again. Hey, David, this is Doug in the booth. You got me? Still can't hear you. Let's see if he gets his microphone issue worked out here. Oh, just got a message from Garmin saying, he's having issues with his microphone and he's not going to be able to join us in the booth. Huge shout out to everybody tonight, though. Great racing all the way around. Great finish by David Garman pulling off the win here tonight. Definitely got to shout out Aiden the Kid Trevette. He had a great race as well. Matt Johnston, he was one of the fastest all night, as was Kyle Holden. Kyle definitely had a charge from the back, started in 8th up to 3rd. Jared Heasley coming home 9th. Jeff Hinkle coming in 11th. Harley Barletta's recovery. Looks like Harley actually has scored in 12th after the race. David Garman says it was a great race. He had fun. Consistency and tire management were key. And thanks to sponsors NSM Wraps and Photos. So great job to David Garman tonight. Great job from everybody. Heck of a race. Congratulations to everybody for sticking it out and put on quite a show tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. We will have the Outcast Dirt Boys starting at 7:30 tomorrow night. They'll be in the 358s at 7:30, the 305s at 8:45, and then their Enduro series. If you haven't seen that, go to the YouTube channel and look at last week's Enduro Outcast Enduro race. That was just insane. A lot of fun. Definitely come back Tuesday night for the Ex-Cowboys at 7:30 Eastern. They always put on one heck of a show. Last week was one of the craziest races that we have ever broadcast here, especially the finish and the constantly changing positions there at the end. And then Wednesday night we'll have the Northeast Racers at 7:30 Eastern, and the Outcast SR8s will be at 9 Eastern after that. They will have their season finale doubleheader. That will be at Monza. One race turning left, one race turning right at the Monza Oval. You definitely do not want to miss any of the races here this week. To make sure, just go like, subscribe, and follow everything. We're on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And make sure you turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of the great racing that we broadcast here. And from everybody at BRR, thank you all, and for all of us here, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Have a great night.